Once again, thanks for checking me out. Please smash that like button, and if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. Now, a couple of years ago, I did a battle of the cell modems to see which device performed the best. Today, we're going to test out these carriers. I'm going to use each one in its best performing device, connect it to an access point, and put them all to the test to see which one performs the best in my area. We're going to test their bandwidth speed and their latency and see how they perform on both Ookla and Fast.com. Okay, this is how it's going down. We're going to take each carrier and do 2 speed tests on Ookla and 2 speed tests on Fast.com. Then we're going to throw on a VPN and do 2 more speed tests on Ookla and 2 more speed tests on Fast.com. We're going to compare latency, we're going to compare jitter, we're going to compare the upload, and most importantly, the download to see how each carrier performs in this area. So let's put it into gear and buckle up. First up is At&t. Now let's see how At&t does on Ookla. Not bad, not bad. Now keep in mind, I did these tests during optimal times where there's the least amount of congestion. But At&t is wildly inconsistent in my area. It'll go from this to as low as 5 to maybe 15 megabits down. So there's At&t on Ookla. Let's see what it does on Fast.com. You see the speed difference. So you can see At&t is obviously throttling the video speed. But you can still watch HD and maybe 4K on one TV with these speeds. But it's obviously getting throttled. Now let's throw a VPN on and see how At&t performs on Ookla. So you can see the download speeds have dropped because of the VPN. It's obvious they've dropped, but they're still very good. The upload doesn't seem to be affected too much at all. Now let's check out Fast.com while we have this VPN on. See, the VPN helps when you have plans that throttle video data. It helps to mask this data so it's not throttled anymore. So if these speeds on At&t, I can stream 4K on a few TVs and it should be no problem as long as I got my VPN on. Next up, Verizon.
Can you hear me now?
Let's put Verizon to this test to see how it performs. First, we're going to check it out on Ookla. Again, these are optimal times where there's the least amount of congestion, but Verizon is pretty consistent in my area. So even though the speeds may drop down during high congestion, the lowest they'll drop to is maybe 35 megabits down, but the upload pretty much stays consistent throughout the day. All right, now that we checked out Ookla, let's go to Fast.com and see what kind of speeds we're getting on the Verizon network. Verizon is obviously throttling my video speed. You saw how fast it was going on Ookla. I'm lucky if I can hit 7 megabits. It doesn't even look like it's hitting 5 megabits on Fast.com. They're obviously throttling me. They only want me to watch 720p at the most. Let's throw the VPN back on and we're going to see how Verizon performs. First up is Ookla. Not too much of a speed difference. The VPN is not taking too much of the speed away from the carrier, so that's a good sign. Overall, pretty comparable to the test without the VPN. Now let's check out fast.com. As you can see, this VPN is very useful to bypass the video throttle that Verizon has on this data plan. With these speeds, I can stream 4K, no problem. Now for T-Mobile.
Nationwide 5G.
And keep in mind, a couple of years ago, I couldn't even send a text, much less make a phone call or use data with T-Mobile at my house. Now let's see how it performs. First up, Ookla. I'm speechless. T-Mobile. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. For my area, these speeds are amazing. The latency, not as good as Verizon, but not that far off either. The upload speeds, comparable with Verizon, but download speeds, hands down, it has them both beat. Even if I combine both of the speeds, it has them beat. Now let's check it out on fast.com. And this is without a VPN. Doesn't seem to be throttling my video speed at all. If I wanted to, I can watch 4K on several TVs. I could even watch 8K on a few TVs with this with no problem. Now let's throw in a VPN to see how T-Mobile performs. First up, Ookla. Pretty good. Now let's check out fast.com with the VPN on T-Mobile. Not bad. So there you have it. All three carriers put to the test in my area. What are my results? Check it out. In third place, we got At&t. Even though it had faster download speeds than Verizon, it's wildly inconsistent, and a lot of times the speeds drop below Verizon's. And the latency was the highest of the three as well. Also, At&t had a video throttle obviously on there when we went to fast.com. So in order to use this effectively, I need to have a VPN. In second place, we got Verizon. Now Verizon's download speeds weren't as fast as the other two under optimal conditions, but Verizon is pretty stable. And even though they weren't as fast as the other two, they were still pretty decent speeds on Ookla. And when we go to fast.com, that video throttle on my data plan really hurts Verizon's performance. At least on At&t, I can possibly stream full HD. On Verizon, it's unlikely. And at times, it's hard to stream 720 because of its throttle. But overall, it's been pretty consistent, so it's enough to earn it second place out of these three carriers. But again, this is another option that to use effectively, I need to have a VPN. Now the overall winner in first place, spoiler alert, T-Mobile. T-Mobile, I can't stop talking about this because T-Mobile has come from very last place in this area. I think Sprint even had better service, and Sprint was pretty unusable in this area. T-Mobile just shut down completely. And of course, T-Mobile acquired Sprint, so they're probably using some of that spectrum. But they had to improve upon it because even Sprint spectrum sucked in this area. So With that being said, T-Mobile went from last place to first by far. The factor that brings T-Mobile over the edge is that they don't throttle my video speed at all. So the same speeds I saw in Ookla were the same speeds I saw on fast.com, or similar speeds that I saw on fast.com. The latency, a little bit higher than Verizon, but still comparable. And it was definitely better than AT&T. So it outperformed both of the other carriers. So T-Mobile is the clear winner, outperforming both AT&T and Verizon in my area. And in my opinion, it wasn't even close. Let me know in the comments which carrier performs best in your area. And let me know if it's changed as drastically as mine has in the past year. Well, this was fun. Let me know if you want to see any more comparison videos. Drop a note in the comments and let me know what you want to see, and I'll see if I can work that out. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.
I'm here to help.
You believe that, don't you? That I'm here to help you in any way I can?
Thank you. You've been helpful.